right, we're back. ELD with Brainstorm MTG, and we have some Scholars Legacy filmed on our Wednesday night Legacy series, and I am on Storm up against Andrew. Played a very spicy list here. That is going to actually all spells. I wasn't sure what he was on. I just got his matches rather quickly, so I went ahead and guessed Burn. While you'll see that on the screen, the deck will be incorrect. That is because I get no additional information when I'm in a match, kind of give you some insight into what I was using for my mulligan decisions, plays. Of course, it became apparent very quickly in this matchup that he was not slinging lightning bolts, but he did have plenty of spells, absolutely, along with them. He has two of the more explosive combo decks, shall we say, go at it here. Of course, Storm can win without making it drop, but it does play cards like Predict, or Preordain, Ponder, and Brainstorm, set up future turns and also to smooth out draws, install spells. Really more of a deck that relies on that opening hand. You do have some cycling cards, Gitaxian Probe, Street Wraith, which can kind of draw you towards more of what you need. But for the most part, you really have to have the goods in the opener. And as we see here, Andrew most certainly does. We have double Chrome Mox, Elvish Spirit Guide, Simian Spirit Guide, and Dark Ritual. So that is going to take some serious disruption to stop a first turn win here. That Dark Ritual going to account for 3 of the 4 mana necessary past Balustrade Spy. There are 2 cards in the deck, Undercity Informant and Balustrade Spy, both of them functionally the same. One of them a little bit easier to deal with as an activated ability instead of a trigger. At 4 mana, essentially what you are doing, filling your entire deck to assemble a combo, and we'll spoil it too much here, but say it involves Dread Return. Actually, a couple of different ways. So perhaps what the best probe, solving and drawing a Lotus Petal. Looks like there is some discard available, as well as a Dark Ritual. Some decisions here. Dark Ritual is so valuable in matchup. In all matchups, really. It's such an explosive card. Not typically ideal. Dark Ritual just to get some discard. Additional discard spell. Wait a turn. Brainstorm. There's the Cabal Therapy. Yes. Therapy, an excellent draw here. Chrome Mox, a very dangerous card in because it actually sticks around. That's one of the criticisms, or perhaps known weaknesses of the deck, is so many of those mana are eating. You're talking about cards like Lotus Petal, Elvish Spirit Guide, Sin Guide, really just one card for 1 mana. The deck would like to play as many of those as it possibly could, but that Chrome Mox is really different in that it allows you to tap turn after turn. Even if you only have 3 mana on the first, you could get out and Undercity, untap, then sacrifice. So stacking a Polluted Delta, life totals in this matchup not particularly. I'm going to fire off the Dark Ritual. That can't be the best of. Best case scenario for him, 2 discard spells. Worst case, of course, would be downright winning. So with another Dark Ritual left in hand, Storm in a position, top deck, along its plan. All spells severely restricted. No access to black mana as of yet. Just Elvish and Spirit Guide. Storm and Dark Ritual, and gladly paying 2 life up, and there's that under and a Cabal Ritual. So Brainstorm, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond. A shuffle effect would be very welcome here. Now, top of the library can be safest. So Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual in hand represent 6 mana off of that underground. That Lion's Eye Diamond as well, so there is no shortage of mana despite just one land on Andrew drawing another brick. Having picked up Summoner's Pact there, he is just 1 black mana away from winning here. There's the Infernal Tutor off of Ponder. That is very good news. That Lotus Petal going to turn on a floodgate of black mana, reaching for Storm count here. So Storm 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 6 black mana in the pool. Lion's Eye Diamond going to be your textbook win here for the past and deck. Going to just need to get to 10 Storm. A couple of different ways you can do that. Safest route from here is easily past them. Allow for a 100% chance of winning. You'll notice that a lot of the time people do grab Ad Nauseam and a Past in Flames would have done. There we go. Piling out a bunch of rituals into the Infernal Tutor to grab that Tendrils of Agony. That is game books. During the shuffling here, I generally like to thank the stores that are such great supporters of the Eternal formats here. Of course, shot at Scholars Game, Brockton, Massachusetts. If you're ever looking at Eternal cards, I am there every Wednesday. Add 2 tiles, extensive collection. Older cards, though Kyle has recently picked up a significant amount of cool lands as well. Eyes on some of the for credit. Something excellent. Really get a good look at the list that Andy's running here. Of course, Narcomoeba, a key part of the deck, allowing you to get more bodies onto the battlefield during your Balustrade Spy or trigger or activation. Entire library, get those Narcomoebas. That'll allow for the flashback of the Dread returns. Often Cabal Therapies in this type of lists as well to clear discard or any other time. Sorry, not discard, more along the lines of counters, other tricks. So it can be a little hard, like surgical extractions, surgical Narcomoeba. There are a lot of cards that interact very negatively, positively. Side of the table you're on with Oops All Spells. In a lot of ways, it's similar to Wedge List. It's got a tremendously high power level, so it has some consistency issues, struggles very badly with certain types of active card that allows and play through counter spells. Really little else. Deck does run Goblin Charbelcher, and one fun trick with Passive Negation. Active negation opponent spells will have a Charbelcher out and kill them during your upkeep. With the pack triggers on the stack, that is something you definitely need out for. Active negation does become a hard counter in those type of situations. Actually not understand exactly what's going to happen and pass the turn thinking that pact is just kill them. Upkeep. For Storm here, typically the slower cards are going to be cards that would be probably my prime suspect. Also take out some of your cantrip. Really depends on how much you have to bring. Surgical Extraction. Normally Storm wouldn't want to try and play the control route, but it is slower than Oops All Spells here, so Surgical Extraction is welcome. Compare that to running against other decks that have some graveyard. For example, looking at Sneak and Show, have Intuition, also have die off of a attack, or you're able to tag something discard. Surgical Extraction in that type of matchup is the great control perspective, not from a combo perspective. Or on Esper or a similar control deck that has access to Surgical. A lot of the time I'll bring that in as a quasi counterspell, general utility card, but when I Storm, I'll generally leave it as if you try and assume that control role with Storm, it's generally for the decks who will find a way to win and wall of counterspell. I do have Flusterstorm in this as a bit of. So far, I've been unimpressed with it. I played it, etc. Did pair off against Show. Basically, sat there preventing my opponent several turns. So it's really not that great at that, seeing as how Show and Tell is a card that really doesn't add much to the storm count when you're throwing it out there. First spell of your turn. Andrew just about ready here to delve into game 2. Opening hand, just so crucial on the play with the faster deck. Storm hand here. Quite a bit moved from this event as I do the commentary. Entirely all over the card hand. Really another criticism of these decks, of course, the fact that they are really dependent on the opening, and there's a lot of opening hands that look like they're not even made up of magic cards. Charizard, Spades, Mop. How are these things connected? That absolutely happened. A deck that's running cards like Dark Petition just sometimes has just 0 but here we've got Gitaxian. That's going to allow Andrew to kind of figure out the best course of action. Storm with a very dangerous double Dark Ritual, Infernal Tutor, Gitaxian Probe, and a Flusterstorm to slow it all down. Fluster not hugely powerful in this matchup either, seeing as how the that Andrew wants to win are just casting some creatures. Of course, there are some instant sorceries that provide mana that would likely target for, or at least fraction or Flusterstorm prevents those cards from cast. Another cycled card for Andrew time straight, so probe and chipping away. Not likely to matter here. Another probe. As you do get lower in cards, I suppose Empty the Warrens becomes a more valid plan. But a Summoner's Pact, Elvish Guide, Mana. Is he willing to go all in? Looks like he could draw a card off of that Metamorphose. And if it is an Undercity, that would be lethal. Could play Summoner's Pact right now. Hope to grab an Elvish Spirit Guide and draw a card off the top of his deck. Would also be able to pay the 4 green necessary. So worst case scenario, he wouldn't actually kill himself. He would Right. Past. There's the probe. Really getting information there. So that Flusterstorm is now going to be able to slow things down. Get at least 3 for 1 off of that Flusterstorm currently sits. Really going to be looking for a Brainstorm or a Lion's Eye Diamond. That Flusterstorm is going to be stranded in hand until it finds a target, or it's put back top of the Brainstorm or discarded off the Lion's Eye. Second land drop here. There's a Ponder. Oh, we are looking for the Ponder. Probably better than a card here that will just game. Of course, Lion's Eye Diamond more reliable as you have Brainstorm. There are times where you the 3 hands not able that in 5. Starting with after making drop finding does not. Completely avoids that type of feel. Totally another type of feel bad here for Andrew, that he is getting out controlled by that single cluster. 7 cards. And we've got a fetch. That's spicy. A Goblin Charbelcher. Very spicy. The Pact of Negate. More mana, plus a Charbelcher. Looks like he would actually be able to get Threshold. Those, right, one shy of Threshold. Elvish Spirit Guide does remove itself. Does not add to the graveyard count. But Andrew right on the edge here. Brainstorm. There's the card. That is what we've been looking for. Probe, a Cabal Ritual, a Ponder. Not able here. Best line here is likely put Flusterstorm underneath the. That would allow for Probe into Ponder. Ponder see cards. Worst case scenario, you get Flusterstorm back in your hand, preventing Andrew. And best case scenario is just finding a mana source. Will be off to the. Interesting enough, Andrew not playing the Petal. If he had played the Lotus Petal, then he could have potentially paid the act trigger, though he on the hook Summoner's Pact the out of fire. Plays can be relevant when time. Either of these decks particularly likely to end that boat. Ponder, black mana open. If under this Flusterstorm is some fast mana, that should do it. Looks like a Cabal Ritual and a Lion's Eye Diamond. Pick your poison. Either one of those will do. Full hand known. Lion's Eye Diamond, probably the faster go through the motions. Give red mana for a pass. Very close to being 5. He actually could have just shotgunned a Tendril. Well, pass and flame not be necessary. Therapy. Surgical is the last card to get out of hand. There we go. Quite an interesting deck from Andrew, one that we really don't get to see on camera very much. Really appreciate him bringing that out. Kind of an odd thing. Storm deck really playing control in both of those games. First game attacking the hand and slowing things down, and game 2 that Flusterstorm providing enough of a buffer to allow for the combo to be assembled. So that was it for this game. We've got a few more, and then we've actually got a bunch of games, Battlegrounds, which I'm very much looking forward to covering. There's going to be a lot of Legacy coming your way immediate future. So this commentary is all new, so if you have any feedback about what could possibly make it better, always happy to hear that. We've got some great commentary, some great comments, I should say, so far. That's it. Then ELD with Brainstorm MTG. Thanks for watching.